What's going on, fam? Welcome back to the channel. So I've got the brand new colorway of the Adidas Speedportal Pluses here in this box, and they are a special boot for a very particular reason, which we'll talk about in this video, and that is the complete deletion of the Carbitex insert, and they've added something that looks similar but is completely different. So let's hop into it. This is an X Speedportal. You've got the X logoing right here. This is a drawer style box as well, which is pretty cool. You've got faster in all dimensions. I am not gonna try to make that work on camera, but you just gotta trust me that as you move this, it says faster in all dimensions. Adidas logo here on the top of that box, there you go. And then same idea here with the grill kind of style on the side of the box. This is a US Men's 9 Speedportal Plus in a 42 2/3 UK 8.5. Sizing is obviously going to depend on what brand it is. I tend to go US 9 across the board. If you are interested in this particular pair of football boots and you're a US 9, I will probably be selling this after the review. Or maybe I'll do a 1-month review on this, but it will be a used football boot under MSRP and all that stuff. So if you guys are interested in this actual pair, you can go to my website in a little bit and they'll be posted on there, noahcavanaugh.com/shop. Let's get these unboxed. I'm very interested to see what these look like, what they feel like, and especially what they're like on feet and the performance, because that is kind of something that people have been talking about and raving about online, is the lack of carbon fiber, but the same price point, and how does Adidas do that? What are they trying to do with income and net profit and all that stuff? Anyway, we can get into this as we talk about it. For the most part, the boot's the exact same. So faster in all dimensions, very cool little logoing there. And then we open it up. Oh, sweet. Okay, so drawer style box. We'll throw that down here. Really nice pink X. There you go, X on that side. Nothing on that side with the little Adidas logo here as well. Let's get these out of the string bag. Oh, sick. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here we go, the X Speedportal Plus, and there it is. There's that plastic. All right. Okay, so as far as construction goes, these are actually completely identical to the green version that I reviewed a long time ago when this boot first launched. And I want to talk about what some of the differences are with this sole plate, and we'll talk about why. Oh, there you go. Get these out of the box here. All right, so there we go. So that is the X Speedportal Pluses. I really like this pink, sort of reddish pink colorway. It is super nice and bright, ombres almost into this black in here in the heel area with sort of these little diamond pattern that goes all the way across, that from a distance look like it's just ombre kind of pink to black. You've got a metallic pink sole plate with that stability frame, or speed frame, excuse me, speed frame sole plate that construction wise is the exact same as the one with the carbon fiber insert in it. This one just doesn't have the carbon fiber insert, and it's got this plastic insert instead that's supposed to provide a little bit less structure. So supposedly pros and other people were talking about how stiff the carbon fiber was and how it wasn't good for, it was almost too stiff and almost too much underfoot, too much structure underfoot. This one feels really stiff, if I'm honest. There's that, I mean, it is still super stiff. The other thing that also is something to keep in mind is the original Carbitex insert that was in the Speed Flow and the Ghosted series was actually stiffer than the one that was in the original Speedportal colorways. Then they went less structured with a Carbitex insert that, in my opinion, was one of my favorite sole plates on the market. The original Speedportal sole plate with the Carbitex was insanely comfortable, super snappy. I loved how that felt underfoot, really made you feel aggressive and fast on the pitch. This one might feel the exact same, but it's also not carbon fiber. And it also means that they've sort of gypped us in a little bit of a way. So a couple of the options and a couple of the things that I think people are talking about online and that I was thinking about is, obviously the Carbitex is a separate company that does the carbon fiber insole inserts for all sorts of biking, shoes, all sorts of, obviously, the football boots, and then some other things, some other footwear. And so that's a licensed product. So if this one doesn't have a licensed product in it, it means they're not paying an incredible amount of money to get those inserts into Adidas to then produce these X Speedportals, meaning that lowers the cost of how this boot is produced. What that then does is, with this boot still costing $280 or $275 or whatever the retail value of this boot is on the market right now, it means that Adidas is significantly cutting the cost of what this boot is to produce, which in my opinion is a little bit crappy from Adidas to take away kind of the marketing piece. So that's sort of the money side of things. It also could be that Carbotech said, we can't keep up with this. We're sorry, we're going to break contract. Fair enough. But let's go at it from an enthusiast perspective. Carbon fiber used to be in the Nike boots back when the Nike Elite sole plate. I actually have a pair in my closet of the Tiempo Legend 3 Elites with the beautiful carbon fiber sole plate. Having carbon fiber in your sole plates is so cool. It's just an enthusiast thing. It provides snapback. It provides a ton of structure to that bottom of your shoe. You get really good responsiveness from those boots, even in something like a Tiempo, which traditionally was more of a classic leather boot. And so it sort of elevated the technology and elevated everything from the standpoint of tech that was in those types of boots. Fast forward to when you had the reintroduced carbon fiber in the Ghosted series of Adidas, and that boot was so popular because it had carbon fiber. It was snappy. It was really nice. It provided a ton of really nice snapback. And even if it's just a marketing thing, having carbon fiber in the bottom of Adidas speed boots really separated it, in my opinion, from a lot of the other boots on the market. The Air Zoom unit, obviously, from the Adidas brand. You had the Puma with just a plastic sole plate that didn't have anything special in it. But for the Adidas brand, that was kind of the reintroduction of them being, in my opinion, for a lot of people, at the top of the boot game, especially with the Speedflow series. And for me, the Speedflow was a fantastic pair of football boots. I still own one pair that I haven't worn yet, and I absolutely love them. These were a fantastic iteration. They're a little bit different. Some people say that the Speedflow is better. Some people say that these are better. It's going to depend on your foot type and all that stuff. Regardless, having carbon fiber in their speed boots made Adidas, in my opinion, really be a forerunner in the boot game, especially in the speed boot category. Now that they just have a plastic sole plate, this boot to me, even mentally, like even if these perform just as well as the carbon fiber does, it just doesn't do the same thing mentally for me of being like, I'm slipping on a pair of boots with a carbon fiber sole. That's cool. That's dope. There's no hype around it anymore. It's just plastic. And it really is like, they've tried to make it kind of look like carbon fiber, but realistically, they could have just covered this entire section with pink and no one would have known the difference because it's just plastic. It's the same material, right? It's just this injected plastic material. Sure, maybe it is still just as snappy. Maybe it still is just as responsive as that carbon fiber. Maybe there is just plastic here in the stability wing instead of carbon fiber. But for the most part, it just kind of pisses me off that they've done this without really telling anyone, because for me, that takes away the specialness of what this boot is. It's a laceless boot with carbon fiber on the bottom, and it's so responsive and it's comfortable, and it's just gone now. So that's kind of disappointing. That's rant over. Outside of that, you still have the stability wing here in this lateral and medial side. What this is supposed to do is it's supposed to kind of keep your heel from slipping back and forth, which I actually found not too crazy. I didn't feel it too much. There is definitely a nice amount of stability in that heel area. I didn't find them to slip too much, especially when wearing grip socks. You do have a really nice plush, thick, and and padded kind of grippy element here in the heel area, which I know for some people looked really bulky. I actually don't mind, and especially when you get them on feet, I'd much rather have something that actually feels locked in than something that might look really sleek and fun, but actually doesn't do anything as far as performance goes. I think this heel actually performs really well, and it's really comfortable on the heel area in my opinion. Same prime knit upper, super, super nice and soft. It is a bit plasticky, so it is kind of similar to, it's sort of a cross between what Speedportal or Speedflow and Ghosted series were. So it's still got definitely a little bit of that textile feel or knit feel to it in certain areas. And then in some areas, especially here in this kind of this line you get right there in the toe, it definitely feels a little bit plasticky, sort of like what that waxy sensation on the Ghosted series felt like. You've got little dimples here on the lateral side of the boot and on the medial side of the boot, maybe for a little bit of extra grip when striking the ball this way, but they don't really make that much of a difference. But I'm happy that they put them in there so that it isn't just a totally thin and plasticky feel. I think this is, even if it doesn't make a ton of difference, there is maybe mentally a little bit difference between this and something like a Ghosted that had absolutely no grip elements on the upper at all. I am somebody who tends to prefer a little bit of waxy feeling, a little bit of grip, a little bit of texturing to it. And so the addition of these is just a tiny something that they did that adds to the feel of the ball, in my opinion, or gives it just that little bit of extra grip when I'm striking the ball or crossing or whatever. Other than that, this boot is exactly the same. In that sole plate, you get sort of these little chevron diamond looking studs here in the heel area. And then you've got little arrow studs through the middle of the forefoot and toe box area. And then of course the rest are those kind of diamond chevron looking studs here on the lateral and medial side of the boot. So overall, this is a really well-constructed laceless speed boot. Speed boots, in my opinion, are meant to be super locked in and super tight and almost like a track spike feeling, in my opinion. These don't do that, but they're still executed well, in my opinion. When I wore the green ones, I actually really enjoyed wearing them. I thought they were fun. I thought they were aggressive. They definitely felt really nice under feet as I was wearing them and running on artificial ground, which, by the way, this sole plate is totally fine on both artificial and firm ground. No issues there, although you can get an AG version of this, I believe. But overall, the Speedportal at least was a good speed boot. Yes, a little expensive, especially with the Carbitex in here, but the big downfall of this one now is that it's the same price, but it has a plastic sole plate that they make in-house. So to me, this is just an overpriced laceless speed boot now. Like it makes a pretty big difference to me because I love having carbon fiber in boots. I would put carbon fiber in every single freaking boot I have. I think that would be super cool, and I love the feeling of it. But now with this in-house little plasticky sensation, and now it's just like a dimpled plasticky golf ball looking thing. Yeah, okay, it looks fine. Like it doesn't look bad, but this just doesn't do it for me. I love the color. I love the silo. I think it looks great. But again, at this price point, to have everything now in-house with no special technology sort of defeats the purpose of even considering this boot. Let's get it on feet and see what it feels like, and then I'll further that conversation with myself, but with you guys. And yeah, before I get into the on-feet portion, let me know down in the comments section below, before you hear my opinion, let me know down below what you actually think of this boot and whether it's worth to even consider buying, given that its main selling point is now not in the boot. Let me know. Let's hop into the on-feet portion. All right, fam, here we are out at the pitch with the Speedportal Pluses, the new model. For those of you asking in the comments section, watch this section first before you ask. If you think I'm gonna review the 0.1s, you are mistaken. It's the same sole plate. It's basically the same boot as the other one, but the sole plate was what I wanted to cover in this review and to see if this actually was a different boot. Did it feel different? Did it perform different? All that stuff. And I really dislike the 0.1s. They do not fit my foot. Again, this is totally subjective. That's the whole point of reviews. My opinion is that they're not very good. The upper is so stiff and all that stuff, but I actually think these fit my feet pretty well because they are a different upper construction. So that's all to say. I won't be reviewing the 0.1s with this new sole plate. Whenever they come out with a new boot, which I've heard is relatively soon, I will definitely review the 0.1s of those as well. So here we go.
So this is what the boot looks like out on pitch. I think they look sensational, especially on this grass pitch with the green and the contrasting kind of fluorescent pink colorway. I'm not wearing any grip socks per usual with my boot review, just because, at least in the initial one, just because I don't want it to be impeded by any grips. So here we go, getting on. They're pretty simple to get on, if I'm honest. It's a very straightforward process with these because there's not a whole lot of material here in the lacing system. And we'll go like that. All right, lovely. So it fits fits the exact same as the other Speedportal it replaces with the old generation. So nice tight fit around the foot. Definitely if you want a laceless boot and you're looking for something that's a speed boot, these are a very good option. If you want like a leather kind of speed booty feel, the Copa Pure Plus is actually a great option. And then of course the new Preds are pretty sweet as well. So those are all really good options from Adidas. These ones though, again, like if you want a laceless speed boot, fair enough, you can buy these. But for me, these kind of lose their charm now that they don't have a carbon fiber or a Carbitex insert in them. They've got those stippling on the bottom, that just a plastic sole plate, which to me is a little bit frustrating, especially because they didn't announce it. They just kind of released this boot and that's what it is. But here you go. Here's what the boots look like on feet. I love how this colorway looks. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. Really, really nice contrasting with a green grass pitch. If that's the only reason you wear football boots, to see how they go on a green pitch, these are definitely up there for me as far as colorway goes. They're fantastic. So we're here for the underfoot feel. Let me grab the ball that's actually behind the camera right now. Walking in these, I can already tell a little bit, they're a tiny bit less aggressive on the bottom. So the sole plate really isn't as responsive straight away, even just walking, which again, I don't really mind. So here's where I'm at with this. On one side of my argument in my head, I'm like, I wear Phantom GX that's like way less responsive than a Carbitex insert. You know, I really don't care as long as I have good ground feel and I feel like I can be agile and I don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Okay, cool. But on the other side, it's like, why would I buy these boots if the whole reason or part of the reason as a boot nerd I would like to buy these boots is because of the carbon insole? So for me, it's like I'm so conflicted about it, you know? I'm like, I don't want to support Adidas trying to make a shitload more money if they're just producing all this stuff in-house, and it feels kind of similar where I'm like, no. The whole point of this boot was to have carbon fiber in it. So anyway, but similar to the other Speedportals, these have a fantastic feel on feet. I actually really like this upper. I think it's fantastic. It's similar to the Vapor in a lot of ways. It's similar to the Vapor in a lot of ways in the sense that it's really, really barefoot. Like this boot feels so incredibly thin on feet. It feels really smooth, really nice. I actually love how this boot feels. I think it's a fantastic fitting football boot, and I really like that they've added a little bit of volume here in the toe area. It's not a ton. It's not going to be like, you know, you're not going to be like wiggling your toes around all the time. Like I wouldn't recommend that, but toe comes right up to the edge, and there's enough volume in this upper toe box area where I don't feel suffocated. And in a lot of speed boots, number one for me was Mizuno Alpha. That toe area suffocated the crap out of my toes. And so I feel like number one, it was like risk of injury because it was like that tight. But number two is I really like to have my toes, your toes are really important in acceleration and also in gripping the ground and making changes of direction. And so when my toes are able to kind of be a little bit splayed, like in these boots, I feel much more able to do like crazy moves, you know, be agile, do my thing as a footballer. And these allow me to do that, which is awesome. So again, no complaints on the upper. I actually love the upper. The sole plate for me, I don't really have complaints about. I know that I probably won't ever purchase these boots because of the way that they don't have carbon fiber anymore and they're so hilariously expensive without carbon fiber. It's like, dude, knock these down to like 220, do the 0.1 model at 200 with the plastic bottoms, just similar to the Puma Ultra Ultimate pricing, call it a day. People would buy them up so quickly. And Adidas is losing, I know it's a lot of money on a grand scale of things, but like you don't have you don't have the most expensive piece of this boot to produce anymore. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Juggling a ball, dribbling a ball has always been a pleasure in this speed boot. I really enjoy wearing this boot. I actually forgot how much I enjoy wearing this boot because it's been months and months and months since I've actually tested those green ones. It's a Sunday. My touch is a little off. But really, really nice. Lockdown isn't crazy in these boots, but I will test these over the next month because I do want to get a sense of, over time, does this plastic kind of wear down? Does it get a little bit more flexible? If you're somebody who likes flexible sole plates and you already loved what this was and you wanted a little bit more flexible, these are exactly what you're asking for. So perfect, hands down. Definitely would purchase a pair if you already like it. The heel liner does a really nice job of locking you in. Again, they might slip after a little while if you don't have grip socks, especially when you start to get sweaty, but I have no pressure points, and that's the big thing for me about this boot that does, they do the speed boot heel really, really well. There's no pressure points like the Ultra Ultimate. The Mizuno heel is super thin, but these are much more padded and much more luxurious feeling around the Achilles tendon than a lot of other speed boots on the market, and I really enjoy that about this boot. I think that's really nice. So here's your final look at the boots up close. They are so cool. I love the way these look, honestly. I think these look sensational. I love the fact that the 3 stripes are just super bold on that upper. The pink upper looks fantastic, and really looking forward to wearing these for the next month or more, depending on when I can release the video, about how they really feel after testing. I'll tell you guys a little bit more, hopefully, about performance and obviously, lockdown and all that stuff without the laces, and being a plus model from Adidas. So if you guys enjoyed that video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you guys have questions about the Speedportal Plus, any new information that you guys want to know that I didn't cover in this video, let me know down in the comment section below. As always, be awesome, take care. I'll see you guys in the next video.